Good evening, everyone. Welcome to a little bit of light awaiting Mashiach. So we have been discussing, we mentioned last week that when we say in the Shemona Esrei, Ki Yeshuascha Kivinu Kol Hayom, for your salvation we hope for every day, that through that we can be able to answer the question that will be asked after 120 years here on earth, and we stand before the heavenly tribunal. They ask us, Tzipisa li Yeshua, did you await? Did you yearn for the salvation? We're able to say yes, because we put in the time to contemplate when we say those words in the Shemona Esrei, for your salvation, we hope for every day. We will take some time to contemplate what it means waiting for Hashem's Yeshua, his salvation for the world, where the world will come in line with his will. We'll be able to see the world being the kind of world that Hashem wants it to be. That is what we yearn for, and we stop and we think about that when we daven. We'll be able to fulfill this obligation to some degree of awaiting for Mashiach. Now, it may cross your mind, it crosses my mind, that, okay, so when we say these words, we'll put a little bit of time in, we'll think about it. Is that really enough? Is that really called yearning for Mashiach, awaiting Mashiach? Is that really, are we really doing that? Okay, so for a few minutes, for a few moments, we kind of create those feelings within ourselves with some contemplation, which is good. But after that, it would seem we're just kind of back to life as is. And so are we really waiting? Are we really yearning? Is this real? Is this, okay, we did a little bit of yearning. Is that enough? So the way I think about this is that there is a principle that we find that goes, Adam nifal kafi pu'ulosav. A person is formed by their actions, which the commentaries use this concept to explain the fact that there are so many mitzvahs in the Torah that are zeichar li'yetzias Mitzrayim, to remember the Exodus from Egypt. So many mitzvahs. And the question is, why do we need so many mitzvahs to remember the Exodus from Egypt? Wouldn't one be enough? And the answer that's given is because the more we do something, the more it molds us. Our actions affect us. So when we are constantly doing actions that impress upon us the Exodus from Egypt and its lessons, that molds us into people who truly believe and truly have inculcated those lessons of the Exodus from Egypt. The belief in Hashem, the fact that Hashem runs the world, all the many concepts and all the many lessons that Yetzias Mitzrayim is meant to impart to us. When we do things to remember the Exodus from Egypt, the more we do, and the more we do it in a constant way, our actions mold us. They create our persona. Now, that is talking about mitzvahs. That's talking about actual mitzvahs that we do. But I believe the same idea applies to the way we think about things and the way we contemplate. The more effort that we put in to instill within us certain ideals and certain ideas and certain concepts, the more we do it, the more consistently we do it, that also molds us. So therefore, if we do the things, or we take the opportunities to think about Mashiach coming and wanting Mashiach to come, the more that we do that, the more that it will really become part of who we are. Because conceptually, we get it. The question is, are we really there? Do we really feel it? Or emotionally involved? Well, the more that we put in the effort to think about it and use the opportunities to think about it, the more that molds us, and the more that it creates a persona of awaiting Mashiach and yearning for Mashiach. And there are many, many opportunities that we have to do this. We've mentioned in davening at least two. There's many more than that in davening. We have Aleinu, the second half of Aleinu, okay, the Kavalocha Hashem Elokeinu, where we say to Hashem, we hope to see quickly the glory of your name, and all the nations of the world will subjugate themselves to you. We have the bracha of Etzamach David that we've been speaking about. There's a previous bracha of Yerushalayim Erecha, to Yerushalayim, your city. There are many places in our davening that we have the opportunity to think about and to yearn for the coming of Mashiach. Tisha B'Av is not far off. That's going to be many weeks. That's going to be a long period of time that we have to contemplate what our world is like and what it can be with Mashiach. And again, not only because of the fact that we're trying to get rid of our tzaras, get rid of our suffering, but because we understand that the suffering is all a result of a world that's not in line with the will of Hashem. But when the world will recognize, when Hashem will reveal his glory to everyone, then everything will fall into place, because once everyone truly subjugates themselves to the will of Hashem, everything will fall in place. But it's because of the fact that we're yearning for the world to come into line, that Hashem's will for his world should truly be fulfilled, should fully come to its reality. That's what we're hoping for. Through the experiences that we have, these are the things that remind us how much we are lacking. And therefore, and it helps us think about the fact that a world that's in line with Hashem's will is a completely different world. And there are really many, many opportunities for this. And this idea is brought out by Rabbi Yechezkel Elias in his book on Imamin. And just to cite some examples, just think about what's going on in the world now. What's going on in Eretz Yisrael with the war in Gaza and all the problems from the north and the terrorist acts that are going on inside Eretz Yisrael. Think about the anti-Semitism that's gone, that there's so much of an increased anti-Semitism in the world. Think about people suffering. There's so many people going through so many tzaras, so many challenges. Think about the fact that there is a world out there that has so much potential for good, but unfortunately people use it for bad. Our lives, how many lives are dictated by social media in a way that's so destructive? And think about the moral decadence that exists in this world and the pride in it, unfortunately. All these things, when they come, we can say oive, which is true, we should feel the pain. But that's an opportunity to think about that we need Mashiach. And again, not just to take away our suffering, but to understand that when Hashem's world will come in line with his will, the world will be a world that's truly following his will. That's a world that everything comes into place. So there's so much that goes on around us that we can use an opportunity to be able to await, to yearn for Mashiach. And the more we use the opportunities, the more we internalize this whole concept and this whole state of mind, this emotional state. It all becomes part of us the more we use opportunities to contemplate. And I just want to read to you how Rabbi Elias puts this together in a very nice and succinct way. And he writes, when you see things that are wrong, wish for the day when they will be right. When you see things that are right, wish for the day they'll even be better. Then gather all your aches, hopes, and aspirations and turn to Hashem in prayer. Ask him to bring the day of redemption and tell him how much you need it. These are all opportunities for us to think about, to yearn for Mashiach, to yearn for a better time. And again, not just because we want to feel better, not just because we just want to be comfortable, but because we understand this is how we relate to what we're lacking, because the world is not in line with the will of Hashem. Because when everything will be that way, when Hashem's will for his world will be fulfilled, then everything will be exactly where it needs to be, because that's what the world is meant to be. It's meant to be where Hashem's will is fulfilled by everyone. we have many opportunities to yearn for that. And the more we utilize opportunities, the more awaiting yearning for Moshiach will become real for us. It'll become part of who we are. Thank you for listening. This has been a little bit of light. Have a wonderful Shabbos.